Hey there guys, it's Jack with Jacked and Lean and Jacked and Lean Gym and the lean of Jacked and Lean, Eileen. Today we're going to be taking her through a glute focused workout, 9.5-ish weeks out from her show. So you guys can see what exercise we have her doing, the type of volume we have in, and kind of like we did the video with Jack, just some considerations we'll be making for her prep, how she's feeling, how she's progressing through it. So let's get to it. What? Yeah, I know you can. She already goes, I know I can go heavier. And I'm like, I know you can. So I know she hasn't been mailing it in because she's seeing some really solid changes, but it's about to up the ante a little bit today. I love when I get to train Eileen because I see her every day, but I don't get to train her every day. I talked about this in other videos. Like, it's always cool training with your spouse, especially someone who's on the same plane as like Eileen is.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure that.
See, yeah, like how has she been progressing? Because one thing Eileen does in prep is she reads a fuckload of self-improvement books. It's super cool. Like, we have a whole library, like a whole stack down by the cardio machines in our basement. And so like when I can tell she's really in her rhythm because those books are just like getting cranked out. And so when we're in like this environment, it's just a little bit different than it's our gym, but it's a different setting than we normally engage in, which is cool. Yeah, keep that rib down. There you go. Okay, down. So on this one, this obviously has a bit of this like abduction, a little bit of extension component to the motion. And so what a lot of people like to do on this type of a movement is arch their back, especially as it starts to get a little bit heavier, to help contribute to the extension portion. So you don't need to like overly lock yourself down. I do believe in kind of that fluid motion, but in general, try to keep a somewhat of a neutral like rib cage related to the pelvis, so that way you're actually moving through the muscle that we want to utilize. So I'm gonna keep that weight the same. That's heavier than you were going, but in prep too, I'm not trying to add a ton of load. Like, sure, she might have been shooting a little bit light, but she's also recovering really well and maintaining tissue. So my goal with these workouts is not to just like fuck people up. I think a lot of people get a YouTube video going and they're like, let's blow this person up, let's get them screaming, let's do all these drop sets to look cool. And like, my goal is effective training to communicate how effective trainers actually do shit in real life. All right, let's do it. Stick out a bit to fail. Slide it out. There you go. To it, not through it. Push to the stick. There you go. Inhale. To the stick. There you go again. Don't start to bounce. Okay, two together. Two. Ride it out. One more. Go. Down. Nice. Rest. Sweet. So when it comes to programming and prep, my goal is to ride what's been working to build the muscle in the off season to hold it during the prep. So this is not a time for us to be like doing a ton of experimentation with new splits and new movements that might create a lot of unnecessary fatigue. It doesn't say you can't switch some things up here and there, manipulate volume, whatever, but again, I'm not trying to blow her up and fuck around with a lot of stuff that wasn't broken in the first place. And I think people make that mistake when they're programming and prep. So I usually just ride the same plan that you were running in the off season, at least at the end of the off season, kind of into like the pre-prep and prep phase, because it's consistent. We know how you're gonna respond to it from a recovery standpoint, everything else. All right, ready? Let's take out there, babe, nice. Come on, give me another, inhale, contract it out. There you go, two, go. One more, go. Stick it. There you go, down, nice. How have you been feeling on leg days after cardio? How are you doing cardio in the morning?
I only do cardio after.
Oh, okay, so yeah, that's right, because you're doing cardio after your left on leg days. Got it. Eileen is a good example of how to adjust your daily structure based on what you have going on in your day. In a perfect world, we might have fasted cardio in the morning, get some food in her for a few meals, and then she trains in the afternoon or evening, but that's not our reality. Eileen has a full-time job, we run the gym, we have young kids, so we have to find out what works and just find something that works. In this case, she trains early as hell in the morning. She does her training actually fasted, so she gets some of the benefits of like fatty acid oxidation and everything else that she was mobilizing from the previous night's sleep. And then she trains, and then she does her cardio afterwards. And we're still seeing all the results. She's holding good tissue, right? You can always have something in play to hold tissue if you need, especially if you have to train earlier, but I think people think there needs to be like this perfect structure in the day. But if someone doesn't have that as a reality, you can't do it. So make sure you adapt. There you go. Let it stick it out there. Same range every rep. Come on. To the stick. With me. There you go. 2. Give me a little bit more to the middle. There you go. 1 more. Give me a little more. A little more. A little more. There you go. That's what I wanted. Nice. Down. Good. Give me some warm-up reps. Awesome. Down. Like I said in the last video we did, Jack and Eileen are like the best representations of what we do. Obviously, they're core pieces of the Jack and Lean like brand and family. But it's cool watching them like train exactly how I want them to do it. It gives me so much happiness. But I'm like, those are fucking Jack and Lean reps. 2. 1 more. Her hamstrings like crazy from that angle. Have you ever seen her hamstrings from that angle? On this next set, get that shot. That looks gnarly. Yeah, they've come up so much. We're excited to see like what a whole actual, it's like a half to 3/4 of an off season for Eileen. I talked about in the post. Like she, because of her surgery, a little bit after I reversed from her last show, she didn't have a full off season to grow. I think we made some really solid improvements. One of the best things we did was just train her whole leg. The glutes, the hamstrings, I've talked about that layout a lot. But for her, it's really coming together now. And I'm just like seeing really good shape. And so even like her check-in photos from last week, we'll insert those. It's cool because you can see that like the hamstrings are starting to just pop at similar body fats as when previously they weren't. And so in prep, so much of your definition comes from like, do you have more muscle than you even did like last time? And so you, yeah, it's always 3D. You want shit to pop. And yeah, you want to go off of body weight and previous stage weight and all this kind of stuff. But realistically, if you put on some really solid muscle, it'll look different at the same body fat percentage. And Eileen, her legs are going to look much, much improved from last year for sure. Okay. Give me a working set here and I'll add weight on set 2 if I need to. Excellent squeeze to the top. Let's go. Again, look at those things. Okay. 2 together. Strong start, don't launch the back. Let's go. 1 more. 1 more. Take a negative. Start it. Right there, ride it through. Squeeze, stick it. Down. Money. We'll take it down for set 2. That was good. Remember in prep, the goal of training is just get the muscle to stay. Can we just have effective sets? Like that was effective. You know when it's effective, right? Eileen just made a really good comment and she's like, I feel like I'm making the muscle work more than I had previously. And I agree with that 100%. We've actually worked a lot on like her technique and form and just more so intentionality. And so now I was kind of joking earlier, but like adding weight. I really don't care what your fucking weight is if the muscle's doing the work and you're taking it to failure. And when you really start to like strip down the ego and strip down the load and make the muscle do the work, I think that's when you create the best results. Yeah. It sounds so obvious.
And only you know.
Only you know. You know when you're just throwing shit up to throw shit up, and that will show on stage just as the same as a bad cheat meal or missed nights of sleep, fucking stress. Everyone can see your shitty reps and your ego showing on stage. When you have fucking stringy ass legs because you don't know how to make the muscle do the work because you're rapping and banding everything, it's your fucking fault. All right, let's do it. Come on, through. A little more assistance here too. Don't launch it, okay? I'll pick up the slack. Go. Stick it. 1 more. 1 more. On the negative. On the negative. Now together. Up. Stick. Okay, leg curls. It's gonna feel a little better too because it's not so high up. It's gonna a little bit longer to lever. Like your hamstring will work a little harder. Yeah, even bigger hamstrings. Who gives a fuck about big glutes, big hamstrings? That's where it's at, boys. Yeah, because hamstrings show hard work.
Well, and the glute ham tie that every girl wants. Since they don't do hamstring tie.
Like if you like have a butt and no hamstrings, A, it looks like you got a BBL because you probably did. 2, like you actually want that real tie and you got to build some hamstring to come off to actually create fucking diff. It's like, oh, another shoulder arm, like because you got no shoulders or no arms, bro, right? It's the same thing. All right, working set. Let's go. Break control off the bottom. Don't change a thing. Same rhythm. Yep, let's go. 2, same speed through the rep. Start, ride it through. There you go. 1 more. Don't launch it. Contract it. I'll help. Let's go. Up, through. Come on. Stick it. There you go. Down. Nice. She always like, I'm assessing, right? I'm like assessing as her coach. She's like, stop looking at me. I'm like, I'm assessing. Like, I'm like, I don't know why people say like, you can't prep your like significant other. If you have a bad relationship, I understand, but we don't. Actually, it helps me a lot. We've talked about this before, like, especially in Eileen's last prep, when she was doing her daily check-ins for me, this is kind of like real actual relationship like advice here for a second. You got to make sure you check in with your spouse, especially at the end of long days. Sometimes with everything we're doing, we still don't have that time. Her check-ins at the end of last prep became like the one, because we were building a gym during that time, right? She was 6 weeks out when we built this gym in 6 weeks with her job and our kids. And we were able to like still stay on the same wavelength because I got those check-ins and I knew how her day was going. So let me be a better coach, but a better like partner as well, better husband, which is huge. And so if you reframe it like that and less of the, well, we can't have date nights around food, you actually elevate versus fucking go backwards. All right, let's get it. Come on. Up. Let's go through. There you go. One more. One more. Up. There you go. Stick. Nice. Down. Good. The reason why I kept the weight the same on that one, obviously her reps dropped quite a bit, was I just think the hamstrings respond pretty well to heavy load and lower, especially now she's warmed up. I think everyone wants to go really high rep on leg curls and like heavy on their hinges. Sometimes you can flip that and actually see really solid results, but I've just always found the hamstrings respond well to low reps, obviously once you're warmed up. And so that was kind of also a test to me of how is she recovering between sets with about the pacing we're going, what type of a drop off am I seeing? Everyone's gonna have a little bit different drop off based on, at this point in prep, like the nutrient status. Because that's like that 10 weeks out range, you're starting to, okay, we're definitely more depleted than we were at 20 weeks. We're still not where we're gonna be at like 4 weeks. So what do we have to give? How are her pumps? Are they still holding? Should probably still be holding at least a little bit at this point, which I think you're still getting decent pumps, right? Yeah, so like she's still getting decent pumps, still having decent output. We're seeing, as the workout goes on, a little bit less output, especially since she trains fasted in the morning, so there's less carbs. So there is that consideration as well. So that's for something like an L-carnitine or some of these other things that help with just overall energy production can help at least through the workout in a more faster, lower carb state as well. So I'm assessing all that stuff when I'm looking at how they were dropping weights and reps between sets and across the workout. So Eileen has a really impressive like prep mindset, and kind of like we did with Jack, I want you guys to hear like what she's thinking about that's like keeping her going on prep. So like they tell everyone some things that you've been like reinforcing every day, things you're doing that keeps you like tip top for this prep.
Yeah, so honestly, this prep hasn't really felt like prep yet. And I'm saying that because truly I've just been in a really good bodybuilding flow. And ultimately, when you're in prep, you should just be continuing to bodybuild. There shouldn't be this whole like transition and switch up with your routine and all of that. And so honestly, I think this is truly a year of all of my hard work coming to fruition. And I'm really just focusing on the day that's ahead of me and trying to move the needle a little bit more every single day, just controlling those controllables. And so, yeah, honestly, this prep has been pretty smooth, and we're continuing to drop every week pretty, I don't want to say effortlessly because obviously it's all intentional, but yeah, it's been pretty good so far. So I'm really excited for this prep and just continuing to, set really high standards for myself, but intentionally, yeah.
Prep doesn't have to be a big monster. Like prep is just a phase in bodybuilding, and if you're a bodybuilder, prep isn't that big of a fucking deal, right?
Exactly. And another thing too, I'll say really quick, is just like with every single prep, I've evolved so much, and so I'm just excited for the end of the year to see where I'm at, and we'll take you guys along on the journey too.
We know it's gonna be better than last year for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Guys, I don't know how the fuck she doesn't have 1 million followers. Like, there's one person on this entire planet you should follow. It's my wife. And I don't say that because I'm biased. She's just actually awesome. All right, let's do it. See how you're already extended a fuckload. There you go. Round that out. Now, there you go. That's what I want. Stick it at the top. Yep, I want small range on this one. A lot of tension in the glutes. There you go. One thing Eileen forgot to mention, which I think is super cool, is that she has her manifestation written on a whiteboard in the kitchen. She's in and out of the fridge a lot, not for her, but for everybody else in her family. But it's every time she opens it, she sees it says, Eileen Austin, IFBB Pro, right? And everything, all of her intentions. And the more you see that stuff, the more likely you are to actually follow it through. You have to be reminded of it consistently because your brain will find ways to forget that shit and forget the positivity, especially all the negativity in the world. Your natural inclination is to be negative and to not pump yourself up and not have these visions. Put it, reminders, constant reminders, or you know, songs, mantras, text, whatever it is, like have that so every time you feel like you're gonna lose focus or you forget what you're doing it for, you have it right there ready to go. Nice, babe. Good contraction at the top. Go. Through. Stick it. Yes. Down. Excellent. Pause at the top for like a 2 Mississippi count and then come down. 1.5 reps off the top. So come up, pause, 1, 2, down half, up, down. It's not gonna be that much more, but you are intentionally going a little deeper, okay? Why don't you let go of the handle, just body weight. Okay, so come all the way to the top, squeeze, 1, 2, down half, up, down full. Good, up, squeeze, 1, 2, down half, up, squeeze, down full. There you go, pause, down half, up, good, down full. Give me more, yep, more pressure right through here. There you go, nice. Down full, give me one more to the top. And then hold it, come on up, hold it, squeeze it right there. 5, 4, 3, midfoot pressure, 2, 1, down, there you go. A little bit of midfoot pressure, a little bit more of the toe down is gonna help with a little bit of glute activation. Everyone stays too much in their heels. Let's go, hamstrings. Okay, on the way down on this one, I want you to think about that backside, like opening up. You're pressing more through here. There you go. Let that pelvis like open up like it's a parachute, okay? Yeah, there you go. Yep. There you go. Yep. And as you come down, press here, let it open and wrap. There you go. I got you. Okay, 2, 2. Let it tip, let it tip, let it tip. That's it. One more. One more. Through, stick it. There you go, down. I feel better. Sometimes like the ones where you elevate the front are really good. Because now that's a super steep angle, you can get a lot of hip flexion over. You can create a lot of that rotation and that opening of the pelvis. So that's why like on the white one, sometimes we can even maybe try that one where you elevate the front and then it like tips a little bit more. You want to try it quick? Okay, let's try that quick. Okay, now I'll get on that and try that. You feel how it like lets you like get a little more over? Feel that? And I like your feet to even like if they could be a little lower, that'd be ideal. But now you guys know, the more steep the angle, the more the hip can flex over. You can feel more lengthening of that like glute ham and more opening of that pelvis. Up. There you go. 2. Guys for 2. Let's go. 2, 2, 2. There you go. One more. One more. Up. Come on. There you go. That was a great set. This is one of my favorite glute and kind of overall leg builders, honestly. It's single leg, it's stable, still allows for really good range of motion. I like that people set up so that their back foot is about in line with their front foot at the top of the rep. So even though her rear foot's elevated in a different position, they're in kind of a line. I just find that it feels a little bit more natural. You're not putting such an aggressive stretch on that back quad. Helps people sink through a little more comfortably. Yep, working set. This will be kind of fun doing this video again here. We're going to take her through another leg day, yeah, in like another few weeks.
I think the biggest changes happen between like 6 and 8 weeks.
Yeah, we're just starting to pick up some momentum. There's a little bit of like her sleep wasn't 100% because of how early she has to wake up. I'm getting home late. It wasn't perfect. We've nailed that recently. And so I foresee a good, steady, like aggressive-ish, in a good way, drop coming soon. A lot of momentum on the back half of your last prep. Let's go. 2 here, 2 here. Let's go. Sink through. Up. One more. One more. Come on now. Get down there. Up. 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 Rack it. Beautiful. You got one more on you, or you good? Well, that good. And Eileen knows her body as well as I do, so I'm gonna listen to her on that volume. That was honestly solid weight. I train a lot of people on this motion. That was really solid weight, solid execution, plus the squat, plus everything else. Remember, in prep, everything stacks. And at the end, you're not gonna have the same move as you did at the start, especially on lower carbs. So that doesn't mean you like shouldn't push through, but just a consideration when you're setting the amount of volume. Eileen's quads like are ample. Like they're fine, right? Glutes are really our biggest priority right now, and so just enough volume here to again like touch them. I do like the way like a squatting and single leg type motion integrates the whole leg together, the glutes, the quads. So that's why you have a little bit of work in there, but I don't need to slam a ton of volume to these movements if she's already on the back end of her energy levels, right? You guys will learn that the more people you prep, the more preps you do yourself. So that everyone's gonna have a different needs, energy levels, like the way they respond, right? But
fatigue management is the #1 key.
Fatigue management is key.
Yeah.
You're still, but at the same time, you're still gonna have to prep hard and push hard and dig at some point, right? So it's just a good coach can read between the lines, look at subjective data, objective data to determine like, do I need to dig them harder? Can they handle the dig harder? Do they need a refeed? Like that's all the stuff that we're constantly spinning, and it's cool being her husband. I can see that real time as well. It's like an extra level that I get, and that's why, you know, I think we're gonna go do a lot of damage this year. So let's go do a little bit of closing. So what you got? Nice. That was good. Yeah, you've tightened up a lot in the last like week and a half. I think that sleep is helping a lot too. You guys would be surprised at how much having a active thyroid can help with clearing inflammation, digestive issues, energy levels. It does a lot. Like I think in prep, one of the biggest issues that's gonna happen is a downregulation of thyroid. So putting it in, you know, supplementing cofactors to help with production of it and conversion of it, whatever you need to do to get your thyroid to where it needs to be, it helps. And Eileen looks a lot tighter.
Yeah, I feel a lot better.
You look a lot better now. So that's a wrap on another Jacked and Lean training session with Jack and Eileen. Stay tuned for more videos like this so you guys can get jacked and lean.